President Trump is having thousands of ICE agents descend on our cities, using brutal force to hunt, harass, and harm those in our communities. Whether intended or not, U.S. citizens and their businesses and property.
Your fake agenda to destroy our country
related
to terrorism. I will not yield to you on this subject, period.
Well,
it's offensive if you can't tell. Silence, the time is mine.
The time belongs to the order.
The invasion you're fueling of our country, it's treason.
Imagine standing in the crosshairs of the political elite, being told that your love for your country is terrorism, only to fire back with a truth so powerful it leaves the entire room in a stunned, humiliated silence. That is exactly what happened when Army Ranger Mr. Davidson took the stand. Maxine Waters tried to play her games, but she wasn't ready for a man who knows that silence is the only answer to treason. Let's get into the most legendary takedown in congressional history.
Shopholders and small business owners who are American citizens are caught in the middle of the reckless and inappropriate responses of ill-trained ICE agents, only to be left with broken windows and damaged storefronts to repair. Who pays for this? Workers and families, also U.S. citizens, drive home at the end of the day only to be snatched out of their cars by masked men with tactical gear and wind up with their windows smashed in. Who pays for this? This Sunday, in St. Paul, Minnesota, over a dozen ICE agents broke down the front door of a napping U.S. citizen. They forced and trampled their way into his home, pointing their guns and yelling at his family, while this 4-year-old grandson cried. Republicans on the opposite side of the aisle, you can do better than this. You can stand up for Ms. Good, who was killed, the mother of 3, an American citizen, other American citizens, people who look like they think should be deported, people of color, American citizens who are brown, who are yellow, who are black, et cetera, et cetera. Stand up for the citizens of this country. Otherwise, you're going to see a civil war that is being created between ICE and the National Guard.
Jesus said we can be angry and not sin, so I'm going to give it my best shot right here. The amount of red herrings and false stuff that's being spewed for the premises behind this amendment is offensive. To tell the American people and us in this room that ICE is a terrorist organization and therefore TRIA should cover the losses? Are you freaking kidding me? If you look at the proximate cause, you talk about the laws not being followed. The previous administration fueled an invasion of our country by failing to secure our borders, by ignoring our laws, and now we have sanctuary cities who invited these people in, who served as accomplices to the crime, continuing to obstruct justice. The reality is Alejandro Mayorkas and all of his accomplices should be on trial today. And if we don't put them in jail for a really long time after due process and a trial, some future administration is going to think they can fuel an invasion, only we need to do more of it faster. Now you get mad because ICE is enforcing the laws that the previous administration failed to enforce and want the government to cover for your game. The invasion you're fueling of our country, it's treason. It's treason. And it's a complete waste of this committee's time to even bring it up, to try to grandstand over your fake agenda to destroy our country related to terrorism. I will not yield to you on this subject, period.
Well,
it's offensive if you can't tell. Silence, the time is mine.
The time belongs to the order. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, the time belongs to the gentleman from Ohio.
TRIA is a program that I support. Every contract I've entered into has a force majeure clause. And there are acts that are unanticipated, that are hard to insure the risk for. I don't think the program's perfectly designed. I wish I was here for the debate. Mr. Rose presented his amendment. I don't think I agree with the points. But I do think, hey, we probably don't have a perfect terrorism risk insurance program. But I applaud Mr. Flood, Mr. Cleaver for working together on a reauthorization. That's what we should be focused on today. The idea that we would defund ICE is probably about as dumb as defunding the police. But Minneapolis wanted to do both. And so, yes, I hope those people are held accountable. But the Financial Services Committee is not the committee of jurisdiction for that. So if you want to do that, go to one of the other committees, do your grandstanding somewhere else, and quit wasting our time in this committee.
The hearing started with the usual radical script. Maxine Waters took the mic and immediately went off the rails, accusing President Trump and ICE of terrorizing Americans. She didn't stop there. She actually warned of a coming civil war, using fear as a weapon to smear the men and women who protect our borders. It was a classic establishment hit job, designed to make every patriot look like a villain. But she forgot one thing. She wasn't talking to a career politician. She was talking to an Army Ranger. Mr. Davidson didn't just sit there and take it. He dismantled her narrative piece by piece. He looked her in the eye and defended President Trump and the brave agents of ICE, citing exactly how the previous administration's policies are the only thing that kept this country from the brink. He traced every disaster we see today, the crime, the chaos, the fentanyl, straight back to the Biden regime's open border madness. He wasn't just testifying, he was delivering a long overdue reality check to a group of people who haven't seen the real America in decades. This is the moment that is going viral across the globe. As Mr. Davidson was laying out the facts, Waters, clearly panicked that she was losing the narrative, tried to jump in and shut him down. She tried to interrupt his testimony to save face. But Davidson wasn't having it. He didn't wait for a gavel. He didn't ask for permission. He barked out, "Silence, the time is mine." The look on Waters' face was pure shock. She was left speechless, humiliated, and completely powerless in her own chamber. Quick intel. If you love seeing patriots stand up to the radical left like this, hit that subscribe button right now. We are the voice of the silent majority, and we're growing every single day. With the room finally quiet, Davidson went for the jugular. He didn't just criticize the border policy, he called it what it is, treason. He looked at the record of Alejandro Mayorkas and Joe Biden and called for their immediate arrest and jailing for the crimes committed at our southern border. He described the invasion and the deliberate fueling of illegal immigration as a direct betrayal of the American people. He spoke for every citizen who feels like their own government has turned its back on them. By the time Mr. Davidson was finished, the Democratic side of the room was in total disarray. They had no comeback, no rebuttal, and zero dignity left. This Ranger proved that when you stand on the side of truth and the Constitution, you don't need a title to be the most powerful person in the room. He drew a line in the sand. You either stand with America, or you stand with the invaders. Which side are you on?